In this video, we'll demonstrate how to create an operational template in OMIMSSC on SCCM console. An operational template is used for updating firmware versions, capturing and applying hardware configurations, and operating system details. You can directly deploy the template or edit and deploy the template on target servers. Before creating an operational template, ensure to create a device type credential profile to discover a reference server. Discover a reference server. Create a boot image using WinPE update. Use this boot image to create a task sequence and advertise with target servers in SCCM. Create a task sequence media file using Create Task Sequence Media Wizard. For information about task sequence media, see the Microsoft documentation. Create an unattended ISO from Boot Media Creation. In case you want to update firmware versions during deployment, create a custom update source or use a default update source that will be used for firmware update when the template is deployed. Before creating the template, let's first see how to create a boot image using the WinPE update feature. Prerequisites for this are copy the WIM file to the WIM share folder in IG, and extract and copy the latest DTK files to the DTK folder in IG. Now to begin, launch SCCM and launch the OMIMSSC SCCM console extension. Provide the credentials and log in to the OMIMSSC console. Expand the left navigation and click WinPE Update. Provide the WIM file folder path where you have saved the WIM file. Provide the DTK path where all the latest files have been saved. Also provide a name for the WIM file along with a file type that will be generated from this operation. You can check the status of the job on the Jobs and Logs Center page. Check the checkbox to go to the Jobs and Log page after submitting the job. Now, click Update. Once the job is successful, a WIM file is generated in the same folder. Now, let's see how to create a task sequence. Some prerequisites are: add the files in SCCM. The WIM image generated from the WinPE update operation in boot images, as well as the OS image file in operating system images. For more information on adding these files, see the Microsoft documentation. Now, launch the SCCM console and click Software Library and click Overview. Expand Operating System and right-click Task Sequence. Click OMIMSSC Server Deployment and create OMIMSSC Server Deployment Template. The OMIMSSC Task Sequence Wizard is displayed. Provide a name for the task. Select the boot image package saved in Boot Images in SCCM to use from the drop-down menu. In the Network Account section, provide the account details used to access the network share of the SCCM server. Select the required options for operating system installation and check the checkbox for applying drivers from Dell Lifecycle Controller. Then, click Create. A dialog box is displayed informing you about the task sequence created in SCCM. Now, click Close. Now, edit to correct the default references used in the task sequence. Right-click on the task sequence that was created and click Edit. Add the required references and click Apply. Click OK to save the changes. Deploy the task sequence before using it and create a task sequence media. For information about deploying the task sequence and creating task sequence media, again, see the Microsoft documentation. Now, log into OMIMSSC to create the boot media image. Click the OMIMSSC SCCM console extension and provide the details to log in. Expand the left navigation pane and click Boot Media Creation. The Boot Media Creation screen is displayed. Provide the ISO image path along with the file name and file type in Task Sequence Media Path, and provide a file name for the boot media file that will be created from this operation. You can check the status of the job in the Jobs and Logs Center page. Check the checkbox to go to the Jobs and Logs page after submitting the job. Click Update to create the boot media file. Now, we'll demonstrate how to create an operational template in OMIMSSC on the SCCM console. In Profiles and Templates, click Operational Template and click Create. The operational template wizard is displayed. On the Welcome page, click Next. In Template Details, provide a name and a description for the template you are about to create. Select a reference server IP whose configuration you want to capture. Note that only servers discovered and compliant are listed in the reference IP drop-down list. This activity takes a while since all the hardware configurations are extracted from the server. In Server Components, to apply components information on a target server, check or uncheck the checkbox below the component. Select a component and then edit its attribute values. Use the horizontal scroll bar to locate a component, and use the vertical scroll bar to edit a component's attributes. Select the operating system component and edit the values for Windows OS. Select the OS name as Windows, and select the required task sequence and deployment method. Provide the ISO file generated from boot media creation in OMIMSSC along with the file type. Click Finish to save the template. For using the template across similar configuration servers, see the Assigning and Deploying Operational Template video on the OpenManage Integration for Microsoft System Center playlist. For more information about OpenManage Integration for Microsoft System Center, visit dell.com/support.